All right, guys, so we are going to begin talking about pins and scoring to help you guys be a little bit more successful when it comes to bowling. That way you can, set up your pins correctly, you can keep score correctly, and then be able to submit your scores to the highest bowling page. So we're going to go through that. So, pins. There are 10 pins. They're going to go in specific places. We're going to get to that in the next slide. Things you can use, any household items, water bottles, pop cans, veggie cans, soup cans, whatever you're thinking, plastic cups. Just make sure you ask before you use anything. Don't just assume you can use stuff, all right? Definitely ask. And if you need some help coming up with ideas, just let me know. Here are how pins are going to be set up. So they make this triangle, okay? So one's at the top, then we go to 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I did different color post-its on my floor just to kind of help set things up. And it's visually easier for me to kind of tell what pins I'm knocking down. So that's why I chose to do as such. It's up to you. If you can see, these are how my water bottles or my Gatorade bottles are set up. If you want to number your bottles, your cans, you can. Whatever you want to do. It doesn't need to be a complicated process, all right? So scoring. So there are 10 frames in bowling. The highest score you can get is 300. So that would be if you got a strike in every single frame. And then the lowest you could potentially get would be 0. Either, you're missing or you're having gutter balls. So that could potentially happen as well. So we're going to watch this video. I really like how this teacher kind of explains this site that we will be using for scoring.
Hey, 8th graders, Mr. Horner here. We are going to go through the basic scoring in bowling. So let's assume I just walked to the port, I put my shoes away, I got my bowling shoes on, and I'm ready to go. Frame 1, here we go. First throw of the day, I get 5 pins down. Second throw on frame 1, I get 2. I go 5 plus 2 equals 7. Second frame, first throw, I get 3 pins down. The second throw, I get 5 pins down. I go 8 plus my previous score, and now I'm at 15. Third frame, here we go. I get 5, and my second throw, it's a gutter ball. So I'm adding 5 plus my previous one, so 15 plus 5, and now I'm at 20. Fourth frame rolls around, and I get a 4, and then I get a 1, and I'm going 5 plus 20 equals 25. Now for the fifth frame, we're going to go through something that it might be a little bit more confusing. So remember, whenever we get a spare, which is getting all pins down on 2 throws, you always add 10 because you got 10 pins down plus your next throw. So here's how it's going to look. I get 9 pins down on the first throw, and I pick up that last pin, and I got a spare now. This is what a spare looks like. So notice that nothing generated here yet because we have to wait for this first throw in frame 6. So that first throw in frame 6 is going to be added onto this 10. So I get 5 pins down, and now I'm adding 10 plus 5. So I'm adding 15 to this 25. Now I'm at 40. So let's finish this 6th frame up. I get a 1 on the second throw, 5 plus 1, and now I'm adding that to the 40, so I'm at 46. Seventh frame comes around, I bowl a 7, and then a 1, which is going to give me 8 plus 46. I'm at 54 right now. Now, let's assume that Mr. Horner came to play. All of a sudden, he bowls a strike. Now, the difference between a strike and a spare is a strike, you're counting your next 2 throws instead of just 1. So I'm counting my next 1 and 2 throws. So I'm adding my 10 because I got all 10 pins down with the strike. I'm adding my next 1 and 2 throws. So 5, you got 7 plus 10 equals 17. And then you go back to 54. 54 plus 17, that's going to give me 71. And then now I go to frame 9, and I go 71 plus my 7, and I'm at 78. Now, the difference between the 10th frame and any other frame is that you could potentially have 3 throws. If you bowl a strike on the first throw in frame 10, you get 2 more throws because it has to add those up. So I bowl a strike for the first throw on frame 10. I bowl another strike for the second throw on frame 10. And I finish up with a 2. So notice here that on frame 10, you're going 10 plus 10 plus 2. I'm at 22 plus 78. That's how I get my final score here of 100.
Okay, so after watching that video, we are going to use the same online resource. Here is the link to it right here. Let me show you what happens when we put that into a new browser. So it's going to bring us to this page right here. So it says Bowling Genius. So same thing, we're starting off frame 1. We have 10 frames. The max possible score we can get is 300. So as you were going through the frames, you're going to click down. So my first roll, let's say I got a 3. And then my second roll, I got a 4. So 3 plus 4 is 7. And you're just going to keep continuing on until you finish your score. Okay, so we're going to use this when we start playing our different bowling games. All right, so you will always have access to this in the slide. And I'll always put it in your Google Classroom. After you finish a game of bowling, you are going to submit your bowling scores through a Google form. I'm going to pull it up in a different tab for you guys to see. And then within that form, there is the bowling leaderboard page. So let's pull that up and take a look at that. You guys open that Google form, it's going to say bowling scores on it. So submit your score for bowling. You guys need to include your name, your color day, your teacher, your period, and your score. So you would fill it all out all right here. So for example, I put Bella Diebold, black. She's in period 3-8. Her teacher's Mrs. Diebold, and her score is 165. Okay, and then you would press submit, and then that would come to me so I can update this site right here. And let me show you this site. So when you submit your scores, we're going to start filling out who has the highest bowling scores in each grade. We have 6th grade right here. I'm going to put their name and their score. 7th grade, same thing, name, score, and 8th grade, name, score. So hopefully we'll get some high scores in here, and you guys can kind of compete for that. So this is published, so you can view it. You can definitely always find it in that Google form. All right, so pins and scoring.